M3.
Welcome to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast,
M3.
the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners
M3.
to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams.
1, 2, 3, 4,
M3.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, president of Dealer Synergy and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group and the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast. And I got my co-host, actually my tri-host, because L.A. Williams, the blind master, is the co-host. So my tri-host is the one, the only, Tiana Chanel Mick. What's up, T?
Hey everybody, yep, it's me, T Got Your Keys, glad to be on the show again.
All right, and we have a super special guest, man. I'm gonna give you his Superman name. It's Brandon Cargoza, right? So Brandon, yo, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you? It's good to be back on the pod.
Yes, now it's great to have you, man. Your last episode that you did, like you crushed it. It's one of our top podcasts that we have, the Millionaire Car Salesman franchise over here. But listen, your real name is Brandon
Cargozo,
but so many people know you as Cargoza, right? Because of your TikTok.
Cargozo, yeah. So it's basically just switching the three first letters of my last name to car.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, one of my buddies gave me that nickname in high school, just because I talk nonstop about cars, and he said that one day, and it just stuck.
So let me just do this real quick for the people that are just tuning in because people are going to figure out, am I going to stay for this interview? Well, you better, because my man over here has literally crushed TikTok. So let's just go through a quick little resume thing right here. He sold over 114 Highline vehicles on TikTok. He has generated over $1.2 million in revenue. He made $1.2 million selling cars on freaking TikTok. He's got one video that's got over 13 million views. Now, Tiana posted this the other day. Is this true that you have over 1 billion minutes watched or something like that? What is that? Did you hit a B yet?
Good God. Honestly, I'm not exactly sure. There's videos that I posted nearly a year ago that are just blowing up out of nowhere. It's got to be well over that, I would assume.
Yeah, I was going to say. So over 1 billion minutes watched is just insanity to me, to the point where TikTok corporate reached out to you and included you in their official automotive playbook. Am I talking facts here? Is this all true?
Ryan Capriccio is the head of travel and automotive TikTok. Super, super cool guy. And he reached out to me, Ben's blogger, Jessie. So she works in Atlanta, and a few other creators. And yeah, the official TikTok marketing playbook for auto dealers is really cool. They had it up. They presented it at Digital Dealer this past year, I think.
Man, this is really exciting because as I was talking to you the other day, I said, you know what this reminds me of right now is I've been in the automotive industry 23 years now. And when I got into the automotive industry in the late 90s, in 1999, it's when the internet just was in the infant stages of development. No dealership had a CRM. Matter of fact, no manufacturer had faith in the dealerships handling internet leads from email. So they would actually fax us the leads from the manufacturer, and we would have them saved like in Outlook or like in like a Goldmine and Act are the most antiquated, archaic, original CRMs on the planet. And I remember like it was so crazy. It was like hip hop music, brother. What I mean by that is like everybody's like, oh, this internet schminternet thing, it's not going to last. I've actually had a dealer principal at an NADA 20 group say to me, and this has been covered before. I've talked about this before. I said, the internet's the devil. I swear to you, like this was the time when I grew up in the automotive industry, pioneering internet sales. And I remember people that were early adopters of the internet were extremely successful because there were so many naysayers and so many people thought it was just a fad and people aren't going to buy cars online. That's just ridiculous. And I think that that's what's going on with TikTok. TikTok's been around for a while now. And what's interesting is that a lot of people are still not engaging TikTok and realizing its value. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you back onto the show, because I mean, for somebody to make, like one person to make over $1.2 million selling Highline vehicles on TikTok and having, a billion minutes or more watched off of your channel, it tells me that stop the presses, stop. We've got to pay attention, because people like you are pioneering a way to do business, and the dealers that are not paying attention, I mean, my God, like how hard would it be for a dealer to catch up to you? I mean, like, because by the time they get to where you're at now, you're going to be light years ahead of where you're at right now, right or wrong, brother?
That's right. Yeah.
All right, so let's go through some basics. Okay, so can you talk about to us, define TikTok? I want to hear first your opinion, then I want to hear Tiana's. Just as a platform, what is TikTok, and why should the industry care? Brandon?
Honestly, my favorite thing about TikTok is obviously there's trolls on every single social media platform. Like regardless, you're going to have people rip you apart. People comment on my teeth, my beard, like it doesn't matter what it is. They do it, it just boosts you up anyway. Who cares? But it is like you are just free to do whatever you want within reason. You can just create anything. You have so many. It's the number one social media app on the face of the planet. It can take you 5 seconds to post a video and reach billions of people. And if you really think about it, even if, you cannot worry about the views and stuff, but like with TikTok, creating is just so much fun, and you can leave I'm trying to think of like the best word. You could just leave a insanely nice impact on somebody. I met these two little kids and, probably 11, 12, and right around 11 and 12 is when I started to get like really into cars and wanting to create things. And I looked up to, like Stradman, Shmi, when I met those guys in person, like I wanted to cry. These kids their parents drove them 4.5 hours out of their way on the way to Thanksgiving just so they could stop to meet me and, pick my brain on like, how did I get started? And I was, it honestly like made me cry almost when they were standing there, because I was those little kids looking up at like, the creators before that I looked up to. So it's, even if you're not selling anything through it, just that impact right there can change somebody's entire life. That's what I just love about TikTok.
Tiana, can you define TikTok from you? What is TikTok to you?
Yeah, I just love that, Brandon. Just first off, I love that story. It's very touching. And when it comes to like a standpoint of a tool, right? Because in sales, we just use every social media platform as a tool. TikTok actually identifies itself not even as a social media platform. It's actually a entertainment platform. So I think kind of like YouTube, right? It's like, you don't see YouTube as a social media platform. You see that as I go there for entertainment, or I go there to see relatable content from my users. And I think that's exactly what TikTok is. It's kind of like that relatable content that we can basically streamline to all of our users without having to have that social aspect to it. Like Brandon said, like people can comment and things like that, but you're not going to have, a status or things that you can like type up like Twitter and things like that. So that's why I think TikTok is completely different from any other social media platform, because it's not a social media platform, right? It's similar to, YouTube or even like Google, because now if you even Google anything, right? I play Fortnite a lot. So even if I Google something about Fortnite, Brandon Sheehan said he plays Fortnite a lot too. Even if I look up something on Fortnite, like the first 5 videos that pop up it's not YouTube anymore. It's TikToks. Now people are posting how-to videos on TikToks. They're posting Easter eggs on TikToks, and same thing with our industry in the automotive. Now we're not going as much to YouTube. Now you're going to find more people on TikTok, which it's the smarter thing to do because it's getting in the hands of your audience. So that's my long answer, Sean. Sorry about that, but I see it as like an entertainment platform to just connect with our customers.
The one thing that I also love about TikTok is that they listen to their creators. The CEO is a doll of a human being. My God.
Mm-hmm.
They pay their creators better than any other platform on the face of the planet. Like, they give so much. I mean, they care to the point where it's like every single time I get on there, they want to, there's a survey, and I do every single one of them because I want to see, because I genuinely care. And, like the new creative program beta that's out, I mean, one video made $200. I didn't even realize that. And it's like, for those, up and coming creator, like, that can really like help somebody. So the fact that they're, paying like very well, again, it's not about the money, but they take care of their creators big time, whether it's listening or revenue wise.
I think and then you can go on, Sean, because of that. I think that's why TikTok, it allows you to let more users then use it. So if you're listening, guys, it's an easy way for you to create that little revenue to maybe then create Instagram ads and Facebook ads. So
guys, real quick. So let me jump in on this. Here's the confusing point. You two are in the life. You guys are, creating content. You guys have millions of views. That's not normal. Can you simplify this for car people? Because to the average car person, they're confused between TikTok versus YouTube versus Facebook versus Instagram versus LinkedIn. To them, social media is just social media. Now, hear me. To you and your experience, that might not make sense. It might be crystal clear. It's like, well, what do you mean? Like, this is TikTok. It's completely different. Can you break it down? I want to start with Tiana, and then I'm going to go to you, Brandon. Tiana, like, why is TikTok different than Facebook or different than Instagram or different than LinkedIn? And why should dealers care? So it's a two-part question. Why is it different? And why should dealers or automotive professionals care?
Yeah, so I think I answered the first part of that definitely in the in my first rant, right? Is it's not like a normal social media platform, right? Like a Facebook, like a Twitter, you can't post certain statuses and things like that. It's more of it once you to actually post content, right? To actually pick up your phone, post a video. And like Brandon said, it's fun. So the difference between any other platform and this platform like YouTube too is YouTube and you can compare it to TikTok. They're both video platforms, right? What's the difference? The difference is TikTok actually allows you to kind of like form little communities within the different sound bites that you use, right? So you can have, a whole community based on your humor. You can have a whole community based on the things that you like to do or learn about. So I think that's the difference too, is that TikTok, there's a way that you can actually categorize your videos to a point where not only are you getting it into the hands of obviously your consumers, like we just said, it's just an easier way for our relatability to kind of emulate as well, instead of like a YouTube
Brandon,
video.
I'm not really getting a clear answer there. I mean, I appreciate Tiana, your definition, but if I'm just a car guy or car girl and I'm listening, I still don't understand what the difference is. Brandon, can you just take a shot at it? Why is TikTok different than Facebook or Instagram?
I get really when it comes down to it, TikTok is a platform. Like I said, you're free to do basically whatever the hell you want. And that's the nice thing about it within means. Now, obviously there is some like censorship and whatnot, but I honestly really agree with her is the community based. The only thing I can compare it to is YouTube. Instagram, no chance. Facebook, no chance, other than, actual groups like the Millionaire Car Salesman group. But, someone in the comments, like that's the biggest thing is listening to your audience have requested to start a series. just because like the Uzbek car series that I did, 2 clients of ours, they're brothers, and they just buy a ton of cars. They're younger guys, and they always have Uzbek on their plate. So people were like, I think you should start a series on it. And within 3 days, it had over 3 million views just on the series because of those guys. So, being able to, people live vicariously through it. YouTube, there's just not that real connection unless you're enormous. I mean, YouTube is the hardest platform to make it on. But on TikTok, I mean, hell, you don't have to post a hashtag or anything. You just post the video and you could wake up tomorrow morning with 50 million views and your life changed. So that's the nice thing that I like about it, is that it's not really like a competition.
So if I may, what I'm hearing you both say is that TikTok has got more of a cult following and more of a loyal following than some of these other platforms.
Yeah, ease of use.
Yeah.
Even just the design of the app. I mean, it just makes it a lot easier, I gotta say.
And it could just be a trend thing, right? Obviously, YouTube was like 10 years ago was the thing, right? There was VidCon and people meeting their favorite YouTubers, and that's still going on, obviously. But now it's meeting your favorite TikTokers, right? So I think it's also like a trend thing. So it might, go away in the next 15 years. It might not. So it's kind of like YouTube, right? It didn't go away. It's still there. So if you started YouTube when it pioneered, right? Imagine where you would be nowadays. So think about that for TikTok, right? If you started now, or even a year ago or 2 years ago, before, it was popular, imagine where you're going to be on TikTok 10 years from now when everybody's on there. You're going to already be ahead of the curve.
And that's why you keep it like diverse. If you're going to post on TikTok, post it on YouTube for, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, on Facebook. Just post it straight across the board. That way you're not going to get left behind on, either of those platforms.
Okay, so this is really, really important here, because I get this question as a trainer all the time is, okay, how do I do social media? How do I get involved? And Brandon, I think we talked about this before, but I could be wrong. I've done a ton of interviews here. Gary Vaynerchuk wrote that book, Jab, 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 the Right Hook. And in it, what I got out of it, and I don't want to minimize the book, is that, there's multiple social platforms. I don't care what you want to call them. If you want to call them online marketing, mobile media platforms, entertainment, whatever. But let's just say for this conversation, there's social media. Each social media is like its own language. Now, granted, Spanish and French and Italian might be similar with certain words. They're separate languages. What Gary Vee was saying is that with social media, you can't go and create content and deploy content the same way across all platforms. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that most people do, is they'll create a video or a post or a picture, and they'll just, cut and paste and syndicate that across the platforms and wonder why their social media, engagement sucks. So let's start there. Would you agree with that statement that each of the social media platforms are like their own language, and you need to understand what the rules of engagement are? What is the format of TikTok? What is the audience and the users of TikTok want, need, use, etc., and create content that way? Does that make sense? Is that a good statement?
Oh yeah. I was going to say every single platform has its own algorithm. You cannot, each video might not, let's say you post a 10-minute long TikTok, because you can, but you can only post a maximum minute long YouTube short. And at the same time, like what biggest mistake everybody makes, not everybody, but taking the video straight from TikTok with the watermark and posting it on Instagram, posting it on YouTube. Each one of those platforms has an algorithm looking for that watermark. And you will notice if you post that, it won't do well. And that's because they're crushing it and, hiding it from the feed, because they don't want you sharing TikTok's content on there, because they're like, oh, they don't even have the audacity to get rid of the watermark. Like, come on now. But yeah, it's different across the board, and you have to treat each like its own individual platform, like none of the other ones exist.
So right now, if I was just a regular automotive professional and I said to you, I'm going to ask both of you guys, but I'm going to ask Brandon first. If I said, Brandon, man, I want to sell more cars. I want to not be dependent on the Magic Up bus. And someone says that I need to develop my own prospects, and they said social media. What's the best platform that I should start? Should I start with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn? Which would you suggest?
Pull your phone out and download TikTok immediately. And then
so you would say TikTok is your first choice.
TikTok is the number one. It will be until my mind is changed at some point.
So give me one reason why you feel that TikTok should be, if I'm not going to do anything else, if I'm just going to do one social media, why should I do TikTok?
It can take you could be the laziest person on the face of the planet, sitting there at the desk, just waiting for someone to walk in. And even if somebody walked in, you're still not paying attention. Just pull your phone out, record a quick video. Doesn't matter what you got to start somewhere. It doesn't need to be a Steven Spielberg film. And you could post it straight to TikTok without even using a hashtag if you wanted to. No text, anything, no music. And it could absolutely just explode. And the nice thing is you can connect your Instagram and YouTube to TikTok, or you can create a beacons link and then push people from your TikTok to Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and that grows those platforms. But if you really think about it, and this is something I started doing a couple of years ago, is I use Instagram as my CRM. I push people from TikTok to Instagram, and then they message me on there, and then they follow that account, and I can keep up with them. So that's the biggest thing. Is actually one of my biggest success stories would probably be using Instagram as like the CRM.
We'll get into that in a second. T, what about you? If I was going to say to you, Tiana, man, Tiana, I follow T Got Your Keys and I'm this and that. And, I'm overwhelmed. Where should I start? Which social platform would you suggest?
I would probably also kind of jump on Brandon's bandwagon and just say probably TikTok, because if you want to be shooting more videos in general, TikTok, like Brandon said, is going to be the easiest way for you to just start doing that, because you don't need, like, YouTube, I feel like is this big giant like monster, right? It's like, I don't want to post something on YouTube, that's crazy, but like a little TikTok video, I can do that. So I would definitely say that, because there's 9 times out of 10, the most popular videos are like 3-year-olds grabbing the phone by accident and then accidentally uploading it, because for whatever reason, our generation likes the randomness. So, if you're at the desk one day and you're just like, things I got to deal with, and then it's like, shows like, I don't know, a car in the showroom, like, crazy things like that, just random things. You're going to get an audience and it's going to blow up. And like Brandon said, there's people that it literally changed their life. Like one video gets 50 million views, right? They're on Ellen, they're on, every other talk show. And now you have networks, it's sales, right? You have networks and connections, and now people trust you. So yeah, I would definitely say TikTok, because it just gets you that initial, like, it gets your feet wet, right? Like with shakes off the nerves. You really you get your audience, you get your vibe, you get your feel. So I would definitely say TikTok for sure, just because then once you not master that, even once you just start that, you can really start escalating on all the other platforms. You're not going to feel like afraid.
Okay. So you guys sold me. So and this is, folks, I'm going to make the announcement right now. This is the reason why we're forming Voltron, and we are creating the most powerful course for TikTok. So again, it's going to be Brandon, Tiana, and yours truly. We're forming Voltron, and we're going to have a video on demand training, tracking, testing, and certification course. That's right. We're going to certify you on how you can sell cars like candy bars off of TikTok. So Brandon, let's get into this. If we are going to create this course, let's go through the outline here. To me, what we need to be able to do is articulate what is TikTok. By taking this course, people are going to learn, what is TikTok and what the audience on TikTok wants, needs, craves, etc. Once we understand that, I think that we could reverse engineer the content. Now, this is going to be in my background for search engine optimization. Me and Tiana do this at Dealer Synergy all the time. She just ran the analytics and saw what some of the big keywords that people were searching that were finding our podcast or finding our Millionaire Car Salesman group. And one of them, for example, was closing. So what do? We basically, knowing that, how to close deals or how to close sales was a big subject. So we found one of our top clients, Gino Kyle, who works at the Hubler Automotive Group in Indiana. And we just did this amazing podcast. We created content specifically for what the need was. So I wonder, is there a strategy like that for TikTok? So if you're coaching me, Sean Bradley, and I work at ABC Motors, and I'm like, hey, Brandon, I'm a fan of yours. I'm watching what you're doing. I want that mojo. Okay, I'm going to start a TikTok channel. What content should I create? So how are you going to advise me on what content I should create?
After these messages, we'll be right back. Dealer Synergy is an award-winning training, consulting, CRM, recruiting, and accountability firm. We are a 13-time Dealer Choice Award winner. We have proudly served automotive dealers for 20 years and have trained over 150,000 automotive sales professionals. We've worked with over 3,700 rooftops across the country, not including our global clients in Canada, Russia, the Dominican Republic, and more. We are the most sought-after subject matter experts and pioneers of the automotive industry. Our executive team has a combined 75-plus years of automotive industry expertise at the highest level. We've literally taken dealerships from having challenges and problems, some even on the brink of bankruptcy, to becoming national success stories.
Dealer Synergy had really helped build something from the ground up. You guys have made me fall in love with what I've always loved to do. I give credit to Dealer Synergy.
I just hired 8 people, and Dealer Synergy HR really was critical in me being able to do it.
You provided the training, you helped us with our CRM. You provided a solution for a lot of things that I was looking for. Our people loved LA, what Karen has done for me personally. Franca, her communication back and forth. You've got a really solid group of people.
Having somebody like Sean and his company that knows automotive, so the marriage between what knowledge he possesses and the fact that he has this great video production staff, it gives you the best of both worlds. So I would certainly recommend them.
Sean comes in the dealership and he advanced us light years ahead of our competition.
Just an absolute leading edge training company.
Go to BradleyOnDemand.com and give your team access to the best automotive training in the world.
It's going to be trial and error. If you go to my TikTok and scroll down my feed, you will see it change drastically. I mean, some of them I cringe to watch, but you got to start somewhere. Again, it doesn't need to be a Steven Spielberg film. The cinematics that you guys see every so often that I shoot, even looking back at those, I didn't even know how to do that for the longest time, but I ended up seeing videos on TikTok or YouTube. I mean, you can quite literally learn. I learned how to drive a manual transmission from YouTube when I first started driving, from YouTube. That is genuinely the craziest thing that I've ever said. Like, learning how to drive a manual from YouTube. You can learn not only how to be a better car salesman, but also make a absolute life-changing amount of money. And you can make an impact on somebody, whether it's another salesperson, getting them to start posting on there. And you could replicate, let's say you did exactly what I did. As you start to do it, you'll put your own little touches, your own little flair, because you have to find your niche. What I do may not work for somebody else at a different dealership. So you kind of have to, whenever I hear the question, well, you have all the really cool cars and, Ferraris and this and that. And it's like, well, yeah, of course. But at the same time, there's plenty of people out there that have 3-4 times the amount of followers I do and engagement that do not work in luxury retail. They may work for Toyota, GMC, whatever it is. Brody, Mopar Brody, he works at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. He has 400,000 followers on there. So, and his niche being funny, that's what works best for him, especially in that area, with his country accent and stuff. So you just really have to figure out what your niche is and then absolutely crush the hell out of it and then keep it fresh. You cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, because it's going to blow up and then it's going to start tapering off because people are going to be seeing the same thing every day.
Okay, so before we go to Tiana on that, so what was the guy's name? Brody? What's his handle?
It's Mopar Brody.
So Mopar Brody has got 400,000
Close.
subscribers.
Yeah, he's pretty
to
close.
400. Yeah, so he's close to 400,000 subscribers. And to your point, though, he's not Ferrari, Lamborghini. He's freaking Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. But to his audience, they like his comedy, his accent, his country accent, yada, yada, yada. But let's go through some ideas here. Okay, some ideas, and I want to get both of your feedback on this, would be, let's start with comedy. So you could be at a dealership and create funny little videos. Now, in my recommendation, and I want your guys' affirmation or rejection on this, because Tiana talks about this every time she speaks about TikTok, is know your audience. You know what I mean? Like if you want your audience to be your coworkers, okay, then God bless you, but that's not going to sell you cars. If you are an automotive professional, your audience, begin with the end result in mind, are people that are in the market to buy a car or know somebody that's in the market to buy a car, or they will need to buy a car in the future, or they know somebody that will be able to buy a car in the future. So if that's your audience, are prospects and car buyers, then you need to turn around and create a profile. In my opinion, let's get this, like really strategically done here. Who is your audience? So for example, if Tiana, I'm using Tiana, if she worked at Patriot Buick GMC, which is what she did when she was doing her TikTok channel, who is she going after? Well, obviously people that might be, potential buyers of Patriot Buick GMC, but also her demographic, she's a female, you know what I mean? And so she felt comfortable targeting females. And her, demographic is she's part of the LGBT community. So she's created her ideal audience. I definitely think one of the most important things that we all could do if we want to engage TikTok is reverse engineer who you are trying to create content for. I mean, break it down: male, female, age, hobbies, interest, etc. And once you've got that profile built, okay, that should help you. It's not going to be the secret decoder key to every piece of content, but it will help guide you on the content you create. Because what you could do is reconcile and say, okay, before I waste time and energy and money potentially in creating this type of video, will my core audience like this information or not? And you might be wrong. So Tiana, is that what you advise, is to do something like that?
Yeah, so TikTok, kind of similar to Instagram and Facebook, they have you can have a business account and a business profile. So you can actually see like your analytics, right? You can see where you're most watched, similar to Google Analytics, your most age range and things like that. So like Sean said, using that maybe as kind of like a hot and cold measurement, but definitely staying to your roots of like your niche, right? Like Brandon was saying. And I think it's kind of like, it's like forming your persona, right? So it's like, you have to form your persona and you have to, it's like a pop star, right? It's like Hannah Montana. I always, like, if I'm shooting TikToks, like I throw my Hannah Montana wig on and I think, okay, what would my Hannah fans want to see? Like, I don't think like, what would my Miley fans want to see? That's for my off days. So, so that's kind of what I want to say too, is using those analytics, like that's helpful, right? If you see maybe a lot of younger people are watching, then you're like, okay, maybe I need to get some advice on what younger people like, right? Maybe if you see a lot of older people are watching, because it's not always funny things that are gonna, be popular. Right? I follow some like farming channels and they go into like the best way to like de-weed your yard. And like, it's like 5-minute videos of like making home remedies and doing things like that. So I think the most important thing is like finding your personality, sticking to it, and then your audience will eventually come to you, because TikTok's good with finding your audience and bringing them to you. So that's why I would say your first video is probably going to be whatever your personality is, right? If it's funny, be funny. If it's informational, if you're that car guy that likes to pop open the hood and explain every nook and cranny, and in 1942, this is why they made the left bolt and the right bolt this way, then be that person, right? Because you're going to have an audience that's going to want that. So that's what I say.
It takes some time.
Exactly, and it takes time. It don't just give
So
up
guys,
after your
let's
first one.
create a list right here of potentials. I'll start the list. Okay, so we have funny little videos. Let me give you an example. So think of the Badger commercials, right? Like we had back in the day from Johnson's Automotive. The Badger commercials were broadcast TV commercials that took the negative of car sales, like the shady, car salesperson, the lazy person, and they were like, don't want to be badgered, come to Johnson Automotive, and those were funny to me. I think in today's day and age, the Badger commercials would be a grand slam home run on TikTok. Now, I don't mean take the old commercials and just upload them to TikTok. I'm saying if today they just invented the Badger commercials, I think they would thrive on a platform like TikTok because they're funny and they basically, are saying, hey, this is the negative perception of car people, and they use that as a comedic thing, but saying, hey, we don't do that here. We do the opposite. We're professional. We're this, we're that. So I think making funny videos that would kind of share what you do at an organization is one thing. Let's go to Brandon because there's a fire alarm going on right here. So Brandon, give me some ideas of content, categories like how-tos or stuff like that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So there's, again, on this series, basically once you have enough followers, once you've established your TikTok channel, you'll get access to the series tab where you can actually just create put a list of videos in there, and it could be how-to videos. So like as an example, the Uzbek brother collection, that's one of the most, followed videos that I have out there because they have a bunch of wild and crazy exotic cars. And the biggest thing you need to do is go through your comment section, answer as many comments as you possibly can. People give a lot of really good feedback, and you can actually reply to those comments with a video. And that's another huge thing. Some of my most watched videos are actually just replying to a comment with a video. But as an example for me, history of Mercedes-Benz, giving you the history around the G-Wagon, the 300 SL, the G-Wagon, that was probably one of the best videos I've ever had when it comes to speaking. I didn't stumble or anything. That's pretty rare. But that was just giving the history of, how the G-Wagon became from a military vehicle to, in the Kardashians' driveway. But you can go from there to how-to videos, how to pair your phone to your new Mercedes-Benz, how to set up your garage door. And then your clients, you could tell your clients, go to my TikTok and you'll have access to all these how-to videos. So if you can't figure something out, I'm sure I've got a video in there that'll show you how, and it'll be 30 seconds.
Pause. Let's stay with this because I want to give our audience ideas. So Brandon said how to sync up your Bluetooth, how to set up, the garage door opener, how to set up your satellite radio.
Just tips and tricks.
Here, how to buy a new car, how to buy a used car, how to get the most for your trade-in, how to buy a car if you've got less than perfect credit, how to buy a car if you've never purchased a car before, if you're a first-time buyer. So Brandon, give us some other how-to video idea concept for our audience.
So those are some really good ones. The one thing I would just kind of stay away, you would probably need to talk to your dealership about it, but how to get more for your like stuff like that, where I'm trying to remember who it was. Mike Davenport used to make a ton. Well, he still does, but makes a ton of YouTube videos. But he would get in somewhat of trouble, I think, because he would post, how to not get screwed at the dealership or how to get way more for your trade or something like that. And his dealership was not a fan of that because, sometimes it's just a little iffy. But I would say one other thing that'd be really good is car reviews, other than like how-to videos, reviewing each one of those. So see, not just, let's say S-Class, that's the top trim level for Mercedes-Benz sedans. Don't just stick to that. Show around the C-Class, the E-Class, just showing people the different trims, because some people may not even know XYZ car exists. So being able to review all those cars, you have a review for every single one of your cars in your brand. That's another enormous one that does incredible stuff, incredible stuff for my TikTok. That and fresh trade videos oh my God. If you take in a car, obviously, if it is like it looks like it just rolled down a hill, don't post that. But, fresh trade. I just got it in this 2012 Chevy, something, just something like that. Because again, I'm trying to think of how to relate it out of luxury retail. But like for me, I would say like fresh trade, GT63 4-door, this car has been lowered or it's only got this many miles, and I'm not even kidding you. That's the reason I use that video, because it's blowing up again for no reason. It went from like 150,000 views like 3 days ago. Now it's at like 600,000. And I'm having a ton of people message me wanting to buy the car. And I'm like, I sold that car 5 months ago. Like, it's long gone. Well, can you get me another one? Let me see.
Oh my God. Brandon, to build on that, review videos or inventory, breakdown videos is one thing, but then comparison videos. So for example, if you're going through the Mercedes-Benz lineup, from C class, S class, whatever, right? That's one thing. But then let's just go to the C class. What are the natural competitors of a C class? A 3 Series BMW, a Lexus IS, for example. So now you have all the vehicle reviews, but then you now can compare your vehicle to the competitors. And the idea is for conquesting, because if someone is looking at a 2023 BMW 3 Series, you want your, C-Class Mercedes video to pop up and be like, yes, this is this is, one of the vehicles that people that are looking at a 3 Series BMW are also considering is the Mercedes C-Class. And here's why. Boom, 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 boom. One thing that I've also found, and this is a pro hack, I don't even know if you're doing this. This is, as you know, I'm a Highline customer. I buy Highline and exotic vehicles. And one of the most frustrating things to me is if I'm looking at a 6-figure vehicle or higher, guys, right? I want to see the exact one. I'll give you a perfect example. My wife just bought, not super expensive, it's about $110, is a Maserati Ghibli Q4, etc. And the problem is that she wanted the black on black on black, right? And when we're looking for the video assets on YouTube, on TikTok, on Google or whatever, it's one thing to find a black with a, tan interior. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, that's great. But if I want a black interior, I want to find a video with a black interior. And what I'm finding is a lot of content creators, they're not thinking like this. They're thinking, oh, I just did a video on the 2023 Maserati Ghibli. I did one already. My recommendation is this. What you should do is find out what is the most sold color, exterior and interior. What is the second most popular color, not just for selling, but for searching? And I don't think there's anything wrong with having multiple 2023 Maserati Ghibli videos. Hell, you could have 2 different black ones, but as if you have the different interiors, because I'm telling you, people that are looking for that particular video specifically so they could see what the interior looks like, it's going to mean a lot to them. Do you have any experience on that category, Brandon?
Actually, both of the subjects you just touched on, I have done many times. So
talk to us.
As an example, with comparing the cars, I did a video comparing the GLE 63 Coupe to the Audi RSQ8, but also the BMW X5M, because I had access to all 3 of those cars. Did a cold start on each once the car was warmed up, rev test. Then we went to the interior. How do the interiors differ? Certain features that are standard, et cetera, et cetera. And even down to just like shutting the door, the way it sounds when it closed, it was a really good video and it did really well. It was nice to see what everyone was saying about each car. And again, like, who knows, somebody that was watching that would be like, oh, I hate Mercedes-Benz. I never want to own one, but damn, he's got a BMW X5M there or that RSQ8. And then when it comes to the different colors, the exterior, interior, and if you were to ask any of my followers, they would just be like, dude, he doesn't stop posting about the G-Wagon. I have posted I mean, we have 16 right now pre-owned, and I would just go through and show each individual one. Like I have shown nearly every single color palette available, even the bespoke from the manufacturer exclusive program or one-off paints on every G-Wagon I've shown is a different color, or it might be the same color, but there's more paint colors available, more paint options available for the G-Wagon than any other Mercedes-Benz on the market. So that's a lot of paint. Well, same with the interior. You can get the exclusive interior. You can get the MB, the normal Napa leather. Like there's so many different combos, and sometimes we'll get a one-off car. Like we've done probably 6, 7 one-offs over the
What
past
about the
couple of
Maybach, the
years.
Virgil?
Yep, we had 2 of those. I sold and delivered one to one of the Uzbek brothers. He'll be trading that back in pretty soon.
Tell the audience what I'm talking about.
The Virgil Maybach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Virgil Abloh, who was the former head of design for Louis Vuitton, founder of Off-White, he passed away, unfortunately, from cancer. He didn't tell anyone about it. He just, wanted to go. He didn't want anyone worrying. Well, he partnered with Mercedes-Benz. They did a G-Wagon concept. His personal favorite vehicle was the G-Wagon, Desert Sand, which is the color that he loved from them. So they ended up, the concept Maybach looks absolutely nothing like, the Virgil Maybach that's out today, because it's a concept. It's supposed to be wild and crazy. Well, when he passed away, it was it was a huge shock. So Mercedes-Benz, in honor of him, came out with 150 units called the Virgil Abloh Mercedes-Benz Maybach, or whatever variant you want to call it. And in the car, it has his name like pretty much everywhere, and it says one of 150 right there in the center. And even right when you open the door, it says Maybach, and then right below that has his name, Virgil Abloh. And then even in the trunk, this is like actually just recently, I want to say I've posted 4 videos on that car, and I think they're well over like 4 million views total. They even have in the trunk this enormous box that's made out of the same leather that's in the car, and it's a 2-tone car. This leather box, when you open it, is an exact replica of the car. So the car itself is like $348,000. I just saw they were only offered to Mercedes-Benz VIPs if you're on the VIP list. And if you didn't sell it, they actually would have to return it back to Mercedes-Benz, from what I understand. So it's a very, very exclusive car. Our first one went to Lil Baby, and then our second one went to my local client who is actually going to modify it. But yeah, that was a heavy hitter, and they are there's one available somehow right now for $700,000, which is mind-boggling.
So this is amazing. Okay, so I want to jump back in because of the time. I want to get some details in here. So we have a bunch of categories: how-to videos, advice, tips, details, etc. Now, I'm an expert in video search engine optimization. So the way the algorithm works is this: it's content creation, content optimization, and content syndication. What that means for YouTube strategy is that you want to be able to create the best type of content. How do you do that? Reverse engineer, build a profile like we just talked about. Now, let's just say that we shoot a video, right? We create a video. I'm going to skip the piece about quality in a second. We'll go back to that. But let's just say I create this video. Is there a way to optimize it? See, with YouTube, you're able to put title, description, meta tags, keywords, backlinks. A lot of the traditional SEO that you have on a website, you can actually optimize a video. Can you optimize videos on TikTok? Is there a way for titles, descriptions, meta tags, hashtags, geo targets? Talk to us about how is the best strategy or best practices for optimizing TikTok videos, Brandon.
Yeah, you can put your location, your exact location. So Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell. You can tag. Typically, if I'm filming an off-brand car, I won't tag them. But if I'm filming, let's say a G-Wagon, just as an example, I'll tag Mercedes-Benz, Mercedes-Benz USA, because they are actually very active on TikTok and they'll comment all the time. You can use hashtags. You cannot use a lot of them, though, because that can hurt you. The most you really want to use is like probably right around 5, 6. If you go over that, you're fine. But really the sweet spot's about 5 or 6. Every time you type in a hashtag, let's say you do car talk, cars of TikTok, it'll show you how many views are on that hashtag. So those are some of the, you want to use the largest ones that have the highest number. So it's like 2.3 billion under car talk. That's getting you exposed to all of those people. You can also put text. So I edit all my videos in CapCut before. I don't actually edit them or film them in TikTok. I'll edit them. You can put text over it. That'll catch their attention immediately right off the rip. Just say, Virgil Maybach. Actually, if you go into my TikTok, you'll see one of the very first, it'll say Virgil Maybach, with some text, kind of like an attention getter. It's not, you're not getting debated or anything, but yeah, there's a ton of different ways. You can't really, you can't backlink or anything like that. There's no area for links or anything like that just yet. You could link all your stuff in the comments if you wanted to, but I always just tell everybody, I'll just type in there, Virgil Maybach, $384,000 to see more, go follow my Instagram, links in my bio. And I'll reply back I try my best to reply to every comment. And if they ask a question, I'm like, send me a DM on Instagram, not on TikTok. Do not send me a DM on TikTok. Go to my Instagram. Then you push them there. So yeah, there's a ton of different ways. And I always recommend editing your video, filming it out of TikTok. And then if you use a sound, so let's say you play music or something like that, you can go under the viral tab and those are the most popular songs. You use that, your chances of going viral just jumped up God knows what. So yeah, and even if people used your sound, so let's say you're a singer and then somebody was using your sound, that's how you're hearing TikTok artists on the radio every day. People had no idea who those people were until they shared their song on TikTok, and then millions and millions of people used it as a sound on their video. And now that person is, it's The Weeknd. It's Justin Bieber. He was found on YouTube. That's the big thing.
Sirius XM has a TikTok radio station.
Yeah, it's got its own station on Sirius XM.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. So T, what about for you? Have you found any hacks or best practices to optimize the video?
When it comes to optimization, Brandon pretty much covered kind of everything you can do on a sense of obviously not doing an ad, right? Because then you can get into more of geographical things. But I would say if you're just posting organically, and maybe Brandon, you can say if you found this true for you or not, but there's using the analytics and stuff. There's actually certain times I feel like if I post, my video will go just through the roof versus if I post 2 or 3 hours before or after that time slot. So I would say if you're not already having those analytics set up through TikTok by just hitting settings and saying switch profile to a business profile, right? Then you're going to start getting analytics and things like that. If you don't already see your popular times and days and things like that, even simply Googling what are the best times in my area, right? Because it's especially in sales, you want to be geographically in tune with your audience, right? You don't want to be posting maybe at 3 a.m. if your audience is already asleep or vice versa, right? So Brandon, I don't know, even because you're obviously 10 times more engagement and views and things like that than me, do you find because I do, posting at certain times actually increases my engagement, views and things like that?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. If you go into the analytics, it'll show you the best time to post. So I think mine is 2 o'clock, but that changes. So you got to really, really watch your content. And it sounds crazy, but there's always a good time to post and it's different for every single person. But then again, there's really not, because there's times where I've posted because you really can't look too close at the analytics. You got to really just post it out there and just see what happens. Anywhere from 2 to 6 o'clock is really a good time. And then as you grow, anytime, it doesn't matter when you could post at any time and it'll blow up. Right. But yeah, trusting your analytics. And then as you grow, switch it up, post a video in the morning. Most people are on their phone when they first wake up, on their phone when they're at lunch, and when they get home immediately. So those are good times to post, beginning of the day, middle of the day, lunchtime, end of the day when everyone's home. Just start off with that And then your analytics as because they won't be immediately available for you. You have to have over 1,000 followers and you have to establish your audience. Then your analytics start to grow and then you can actually track those as time goes on.
Okay, so the next part of the formula is you've got content creation, content optimization, and content syndication. And what I mean by content syndication is if you've got, and I'm using YouTube, but I'm going to correlate it to TikTok. If you have a YouTube video, or in this case, a TikTok video, and you just optimize it and leave it out there on the TikTok platform and hope that people just come to you. Like if you build it, they shall come. You might be disappointed. What we can do as individuals to accelerate or expedite, some magic happening is getting that video out there. So some of the things that you can do is share that video on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or with the HTML, you can actually create blog posts in this. You could actually put it inside the CRMs, just like anything you could do with a YouTube video, you pretty much could do with a TikTok video. So if you're doing video emails or video automation in your VinSolutions or your dealer socket, etc., you could do it there. The idea is the more places that you push the video out to, the higher the probability somebody could, see it and engage with it. And part of any algorithm for things to not even go viral, but to get more visibility is liking, commenting, subscribing, posting. So the more people that see your video and they either like it or they share it or they comment on it, it's going to be brownie points, metaphorically speaking, for the algorithm. The other aspect is this too.
Hold up, Sean. This stuff is way too valuable. I think we're gonna have to save some of this for next week. We're kind of getting a little long in the tooth, but I'm telling y'all, next week I'm gonna drop the rest of this, and y'all gonna be absolutely blown away. I've heard it, and if y'all want to get a little sneak preview of it, you can go ahead and send me a text message. Y'all know my number, 267-551-6279. Just text me the word rest, okay, and then it'll let me know that you want the rest of this podcast, and either I'll send it to you early or we'll just set up a time where you can get some specific details centered around you and your specific situation, and we'll get you exactly what you need. All right, y'all, we'll talk next week. Peace. So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. Let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman group on Facebook. We'll see you there.